Hi, this is Laura from Ninja Bunny Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to make this nice basket weave scarf. This scarf is approximately 7 inches wide and about 56 inches long. It's made with front post and back post double crochet. You can put tassels on this scarf if you choose. I did not because I really like it without the tassels. I think it's a very simple scarf to make. It's very warm and I think you're going to enjoy making this scarf. So let's get started with making a basket weave scarf. For my scarf I used Red Heart Super Saver. In today's sample, I'm going to be using the color Cherry Red. It is a 100% acrylic yarn in a medium 4. I used approximately a full skein of yarn for the scarf. It's 364 yards, 7 ounces in the skein. Again, you don't have to use this particular yarn. You can use any medium 4 weight yarn. The color I used for my scarf was called Cafe Latte, but again you can use any medium 4 weight yarn that you choose. I used a J hook or 6mm crochet hook. So let's get started with the scarf. Okay, so to start the scarf, you're going to do a chain of 6 plus 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then another set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you have your chain long enough, do 4 more chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Today I'm going to do a small sample to show you how to do your scarf. You can make your scarf as wide as you want and as long as you want. So once you have your chain, you're going to start 3rd chain from hook, flip over your chain, and you see these back humps. That's where you're going to place your first foundation row. So you're going to start with a half double crochet, 3rd chain from hook. So you're going to count these humps, 1, 2, 3, and start in the 3rd hump from hook. The first one is usually a little bit difficult to get into, but after that the rest of them usually just pop right up. And then you're going to do double crochet in the next one, and in each stitch across until you get to the last stitch. The last chain, oops, the yarn split there, sorry about that. The last chain you're going to do a half double crochet in. Sorry, my yarn keeps splitting. I do apologize about that. So continue doing double crochet until you get to that last stitch, and I will meet you at the end of the chain so we can do our last stitch and start row 2. Now I'm at that last stitch on the last chain, or last chain, and we're going to do the final stitch. Yarn out of the way here is a half double crochet. Now the reason I was having you do your foundation row in the back humps like that was because when you flip the work over and you look at it, if it shows up in the camera well, it looks just like the top. So it makes a nice finished edge. So now for round 2, we're going to chain up 2, turn our work, and in the first stitch we're going to do a half double crochet, and now we're going to be working in sets of 3 across the row. So the first 3 stitches we're going to do front post double crochet. For a front post double crochet, you're going to yarn over, go into the fabric around the first post of the stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, and complete your double crochet as normal. So yarn over, go into the second, around the second post from the front, yarn over, and complete your double crochet. Now just like that. Now the next 3 stitches are going to be back post double crochet. So you're going to yarn over again, and you're going to do the same, similar, but you're going to come in from the back of the fabric and bring your hook to the back. So you're going around the post again, but you're bringing it to the back of the work. And you're going to pull up your loop and complete your double crochet. Again, yarn over, come in from the back to the front and to the back again. Pull up your work and complete your double crochet. One more time, because we're working in sets of 3. And then you're going to repeat that again. And this time you're going to do the front post double crochet. And you're going to do 3 of them. Just like that, and then back post double crochet. Again, 3 of them. Please continue with this pattern across row 2, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. I'm at the end of round 2. I have 1 stitch left, and that's going to be a half double crochet. To start round 3, we're going to chain up 2 and turn the work. Now, round 3, we're going to be doing the opposite of what we did in round 2. So the first stitch will always be the same. The first and last stitch will always be the same, a half double crochet. Sorry about that. Now, we're going to come to front post double crochets as our first set, at least in mine. Yours might be different depending on how wide your scarf is. So since we have front post here, we're going to do back post double crochets. If yours starts with back post, you're going to do front post. So we're going to do the opposite stitch from what you see, what was in the previous row. So if it's front post, do back post. If it's back post, do front post. Now the next set I have are back post. So we're going to do front post double crochets. Again, these are front post. Going to do back post double crochets. Now we're on back post, front post. And that's all there is to the entire scarf. It's just a repeat of rounds 2 and 3. So you're just doing the opposite of each row. I will say that this particular pattern, or this particular stitch, is a yarn eater. This can take up a lot of yarn. But for the scarf I did, I used 1 full skein of the Red Heart Super Saver. I'm coming up onto the end of the row, and my last stitch is going to again be a half double crochet. You're just going to continue repeating this pattern back and forth until you have the desired length for your scarf. And that gives you that nice basket weave pattern that we saw in the scarf. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 3. I'm going to do a few more rounds with you just so that you can really get the hang of this, so that you can complete your scarf on your own. So let's do a half double crochet in the first stitch. And we're going to come up against back post double crochets, so we're going to do front post double crochet. Then we're coming up against front post double crochet, do back post double crochet. Next set are back post double crochet, so we're going to do front post double crochet. front post. So we're going to do back post. Always do the opposite of what's in the previous row. Back post, we're going to do front post. Front post in the last set here, so we'll do back post. We got a yarn monster following us here. And always remember your first stitch and last stitch will be a half double crochet. If for some reason you find that your first stitch and your last stitch are not a half double crochet, then you either drop the stitch or add a stitch somewhere in the middle of your scarf. And if your first foundation chain, you're not coming up with your first and last as a half double crochet, then your starting chain, your counts were off. And you should frog that back out and restart. It's a chain of 6 for each set, and then at the end you add an additional 4. For our next round, we chain 2, and we do a half double crochet in our first stitch, and then we're going to come across front post double crochets. So we're going to do back post double crochet, again back post double crochet. We're going to do front post double crochets. Front post, and we're going to do back post. You'll get a rhythm doing this, and it'll be almost like second nature once you get the hang of it. It'll just whip right along, and before you know it, you'll have the entire scarf done. Oops. Every once in a while I do drop a stitch. Especially when you're doing back post or front post, it's really easy to drop a stitch. But the wonderful thing about crochet is it's very easy to pick it right back up. And we're on back post on the last set here, so it's front post. And last stitch is a half double crochet. And there you have the basket weave. I said you can make this wider if you want, and you can make this scarf as long as you want. So if you like this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And happy crocheting!